Something about, how the world works. So our subtitle is Changing the Way the World Works. So how is the world working? Interestingly, and this all got created before the economic weirdness that's gone on. But interesting timing.
It's very apropos, isn't it?
How does the world work? Well, GTD is somewhat counter-cyclical, at least psychologically, because when the heat's on and the pressure's on and you really got to make tough choices and you really got to stay clear and you cannot afford any residue or any extraneousness in your life, that's where these practices become absolutely super critical, even more so. But again, for people to then, when you get into survival mode, how much can you invest in process and the improving your process and focusing on it? It can still be challenging. Anyway, we have a great set of panelists. We've got about 30, 35 people, Steve including them. Guy Kawasaki, Jim Fallows from the Atlantic is going to be there.
Love him.
General Fullhart, the head of global operations for the U.S. Air Force, big GTD champion, and is going to talk about how kind of the bigger game in terms of leadership and GTD and why that's there. Marshall Goldsmith, lots of cool folks that just wanted to support me and support what we're doing. And it's kind of a build it and they'll come, but we're going to be talking about GTD and the GTD, your brain on GTD, why it works, GTD in education. GTD is there a new standard about how we work out there, that needs to be, implemented or reaffirmed. Anyway, it's going to be fun.
Buzz Bruggeman's going to be there too. He created ActiveWords.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, Buzz is fun.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people use ActiveWords for GTD.
Well, ActiveWords is great. It's just a simple little macro program. So when you type stuff in, it takes you to wherever you want to go, and it replaces stuff for you. It's one of those dumb, simple ideas that like, don't take that away from me. That's
right.
Absolutely critical.
But that's the key. For me, I found that's really been the key to making a GTD system that works, is a very quick and easy way to get that stuff into that trusted system you talk about. You got to trust it. Yep. Of course, and you have to check it, which I always is the hardest part for me.
You won't trust it unless you do.
You got to review it.
Yep.
But it has to be quick and easy to get it into there. And I find keystroke macros are a very quick and easy way to do that. You just
Absolutely,
go boom, and it's in there. Well,
David, it's really quick. I know we don't want to take up too much of your time, but you had mentioned writing things down and then putting them into an electronic system. Obviously, you've done a lot of research, especially for your latest book. Is there something in the brain that helps us remember things better or makes us feel more at ease when we write things out? Because that is something that I have to do.
That's a good point, yeah.
Well, from my experience, at least from a lot of years of observation of this, is what happens is that when you hold stuff in your mind, the place that's holding it in your mind has no sense of past or future. It thinks you should be doing it all the time, psychologically. That's why it'll wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning and beat you bloody about something you can't do anything about while you're lying in bed, but it still thinks you need to be. It's like, shut up. It's going, but you need batteries. You can't buy batteries at 3 o'clock in the morning in bed. So the truth is once you get it out, then the brain says, oh, now I don't have to keep hanging on to that, which then means I can let go and renegotiate that agreement with myself. But you can't renegotiate agreements you can't remember you made. So you've got to get them out of your head and look at them and go, no, not right now. And as simple as that little process is, you make the list and feel better is because you made the list and decided not to do what was on the list, or maybe just one of them.
It's a letting go. It really is a feeling of letting go and saying, okay, I've got it. It's stored. But I think you're right, Sarah. I think writing it down is for a lot of people is a process that is very effective, because
maybe it's just the extra energy it takes to write something out, longhand with a pen rather than a keystroke.
I just see David with a big pile of yellow pads for some reason. I don't know why.
Any of that work, the psychologists have a fancy name. They call it distributed cognition. Basically, and they're finding out, I think we're still at the very beginning to find out how powerful that is.
Yeah.
Your mind is for having ideas, but not for hanging on to them.
Right.
And so the mind has the idea, but then it expresses your mind needs to be free to express and expand like crazy. But the more that you can trust that on the back end you have an executive process that will handle it, the more freedom it'll have to be spontaneous and crazy on the front end, which is what you want. That's what I do. That's what I want.
Yeah.